Hi, this is Peter Godinez, your ambassador with K80Y TV, with a segment of Meet the Educator. And there's so much going on in Ventura County in the way of education, and we have the good fortune of being at Rancho Campana High School here in Camarillo, and with one of the leaders. And his name is Roger Adams, and he's a principal, and you can see he's got a face for the camera, and you'll find as I interview him that there's more behind just the good-looking man. So anyway, welcome. Thank you so much for having us. But this is so significant. This is the first time I've been on campus. But how would you describe what this school's purpose is, its mission? I mean, that's a big question, but go ahead, give it a try.
Well, you know, really with Rancho Campana. So as the leader, I'm gonna correct you in the way you pronounce the word. I know, I understand.
Say the word Campana.
It's Rancho Campana.
Campana.
Yes,
okay.
like bell.
That's
so Rancho
good.
Campana. Well, really, when we first started looking into academies in Oxnard Union High School District back in the mid-90s, we really wanted to develop a program where we can support students, really a wide variety of students, whether they're at-risk students, but also students that show a certain affinity towards an industry sector. And so I've taken a lot of my own life experiences and have really tried to connect that to what we want students to do. And that's kind of discover their passion, what they want to do. Oftentimes you'll hear educators say, follow your passion, and your work won't really seem like work. And so that's essentially something I did. I went through and got a degree in biological sciences from UC Irvine, but I ended up a principal. And so that path was influenced by opportunities and experiences while I was in high school and while I was going to college. And so while in college, being a student at UC Irvine, not having a lot of money, I had to work. And part of the programs I was a part of were teaching opportunities. And so I worked with the America Reads program in the mid-90s during the Clinton years. And I worked with Martin Luther King Elementary School.
Oh, really?
With first grade Spanish-speaking only students, helping them learn how to read in English.
And that's one in Oxnard, right?
No, actually, this is in Santa Ana, California.
Okay.
And so what I did was, it was a job, but it was an amazing experience. I loved working with students. It was just fantastic. What I did learn is I don't think I could ever teach in the elementary grades. It was just kind of one of those things, as I had a passion for it. I loved working with students, but I knew that wasn't my core group of students that I wanted to work with.
Interesting.
So what I continued to do is I worked with the university for a middle school math Saturday academy. And what we found, the professor at the time that was running these programs found that at Santa Ana High School, they had very limited calculus classes, AP calculus courses. And so what he wanted to do was he wanted to go in, start working with middle school students. So he recruited university students from UC Irvine to go work at middle schools in Santa Ana.
I see.
And so we worked with those students over several weeks. This project went on for several months and several years. And what ended up happening in Santa Ana was the number of calculus courses that they offered increased over the years as a direct result of working with students that were directly feeding into that. Great experience. And then finally, I worked at the university teaching and working with students bridging to the university, because oftentimes there's gaps that need to be filled. So I worked with the California Alliance for Minority Participation at the university with students that were going to be attending UC Irvine that were considered at risk. Some of them that were coming from low socioeconomics, maybe didn't have the exposure and access to information that other students at the university had. We worked with underrepresented groups. So we worked with these students to really teach them about the university, but give them a crash course in calculus, molecular biology, all those pieces that they would need in order to be successful when they went to the university. And that's when the bug hit me. That's what I wanted to do. I knew from those experiences that I wanted to be a teacher. As much as I loved doing research in a lab, working for the university, publishing, that wasn't my niche. Although I had this passion for science, passion for the world, the natural world and how it functioned, I took that passion and connected it to teaching. And so when I left the university, I started teaching, and my first position was working as a long-term sub at Rio Mesa High School,
Oh, really?
right down the road.
Really?
Yes. And so I was able to work for teach a group of at-risk students, kind of your standard biology course.
Right.
Absolutely fell in love. After that, I became a teacher at E.O. Green. I taught life science there for 4 years. Moved on to Pacifica High School, where I was a life science teacher, so I taught biology, anatomy, and physiology. And then I started getting connected to these academies, and we started hearing the word, and the principal at the time, Bill Dabbs, who is the principal at Rio Mesa High School. He's really a mentor through this process. We really started talking about small schools within a school. How can we target students? So give them the instruction that they need. How do we prepare them in a different way, but also provide them the extra support that they need? Because we weren't taking the creme de la creme. We weren't taking the higher performing students. We're looking at a whole range of students based off of their interest in those areas.
Interesting.
And so we here, Erin Huizenga, who is our academy lead for the Medical Science Academy, she, along with Bijou Beltran, who is the principal at Pacifica High School, they started the writing for the grants that were needed to start that first Health Science Academy at Pacifica. I worked on the back end developing some of the curriculum, working with Ms. Huizenga, and I was smart enough to bring her over here when they started opening this school, because what we have here, we saw the success. So we have at Pacifica and across the district, we have health science academies. When I moved over as an administrator at Hueneme High School, I worked with the principal there, who is Dr. Adrian Palazuelos, who is now the superintendent in Fillmore Unified School District. He allowed me the flexibility to start an engineering academy there at Hueneme High School. And so from teaching academies to culinary academies to business academies, these things have spread. What the district really wanted to do was take the success that we were seeing out of these academies and create a school where we completely redesigned the experiences they have as a high school student, connect it to an industry sector, keep it small, and really impact what we call 21st century learners. Because the way we learned in school was a lot different.
Sure was.
And students now have access to information at their fingertips. If we do not take advantage of that, then we're not being successful. We have to kind of take that rear view mirror that we're so used to with traditional education, and we have to be willing to stop looking through that rear view mirror and say, well, it worked for me. Because what worked for me isn't necessarily what works for kids.
Somebody else.
We take the best of what that was and we integrate it to what we can now do through technology, through access to information, but to really provide a more personalized education for students. So that way they get those experiences. Here in high school, they may have a passion for biology, but they may learn that they might want to go into bioengineering.
True.
Because of their experiences here. Or, just as important, they may learn that they don't want to be an engineer.
True.
But the fact of the matter is it's still a learning process. And so what we want to make sure is that our students get their typical, core instruction, their English, their math, their science, their social sciences, through the lens of an industry sector. It is not a major. We do not provide them a major and narrow what they want to do. What we want to do is provide them a scope, a view, a survey of what's available to them. Whether they graduate from the Engineering Academy or the Medical Science Academy or the Arts and Entertainment Academy, which is what we have here, they can apply at their end. If they follow through with getting good grades, taking their entrance exams, they can apply for any major they want. It doesn't have to be connected to their academy here. We're preparing them for college, we're preparing them for career, and we're preparing them for life.
I love the way you said that. I'm glad you shared your history, because everything you went through brought you to this point.
It did, it really did.
And you inspire me. I'm getting goosebumps here, because when you say high performing, I think all students are high performers.
Absolutely.
But you just got to find the right passion.
Exactly.
You got to find the right method to instruct them and the motivation. So it's crazy to say everybody's a high performance student. So we're going to actually take a look at some of the places you mentioned, but I think that was a great overview. You did a great job, and I apologize. I'm going to practice this 10 times in front of the mirror.
Practice it.
And then write me up, and we'll go from there. So we're going to take a look at it. So this is going to be continued.
Absolutely.
Continuing right here. So tell us about where we're standing. Give us an overview.
Well, what I can tell you here, this is the quad of our school, and what you'll find not typical of all of our comprehensive high schools is that we have 350 students. At capacity, we're going to have 800 to possibly 1,000 students.
Wow.
So currently we only have freshmen and sophomores. So what you'll see is we don't have a very large campus. What we do have is we have opportunities for students to utilize the campus as much as possible. So instruction doesn't only occur inside the classroom, it actually occurs outside the classroom. So one of the first things I want you to notice out here is A, that it's small, but B, that we have certain things that are located for you to take a look at. So if you look at the top over there, and I don't know if we want to scan up.
We can do that. We have the technology. It's the white item that you're
So we have this white item over here. Those are access points. Those are external access points for students to connect to the internet. And so each one of our students has a 13-inch laptop that is connected wirelessly on this campus on our district servers. We make sure that it's on our district because we want to protect students and have that availability to access our programs, but now not have that ability to access materials that they shouldn't be. And so as soon as students walk onto this campus, they're connected to the internet inside of the classroom, but also outside of the classroom. So for every one of those, we have 56 of them around our campus.
Wow.
So when students truly, when they walk on a campus, they're connected to information. And so we have students that arrive here as early as 6:30 in the morning. They have available to them our media centers, which are indoors, connected, the ability to use monitors to practice and do homework, but sometimes they're just outside working on assignments, working on projects that they can save and upload and download onto our system that we have here.
Now I envision students, and maybe I'm wrong, carrying less books. I always envision myself as a freshman carrying 5 feet of books on my side.
Yes.
Will they be carrying mostly just laptops and small curriculums along? What's it look like?
In the perfect world, what we'd like to see is students have access to multiple textbooks, not just the one that they're going to be using in classrooms, utilizing their laptops. Right. However, the reality is we still need to transition to that point. Okay. Students are still used to using a textbook. I'm still used to reading a book at times, and I've tried using technology, but we still have to recognize that there is a transition to that. And so our students still do have books, but what we do is, for many of them, they can download their books directly onto their devices.
That's amazing.
We have students that have books inside the class where they stay as classettes, and they take a book home, so they don't have to carry those pieces around. I'm loving that. So instead of carrying around 5-6 books, they actually have their laptop and maybe one book that they carry around campus, and that's usually a core lit book that's associated with their English classes. And
I'm sure this is a fast speed. I mean, since they're so close and there's 50 something of them.
It is. I mean,
instantaneous.
It's instantaneous. We're in the Ferrari of technology when it comes to infrastructure. It's really the way we've developed and worked with our construction management teams and our contractors. What we really wanted to do was to not only create a great system that they can use now, but as technology changes, the rate at which it changes happens very fast. The infrastructure we put in place really should be capable of adapting to new technology for the next 10 to 15 years.
And I could just see it grow in that direction.
Yes, and so the feel you get out here and the experience we want students to have is we want them to feel like they're on a small university campus. We don't have the traditional bell system. We actually only have 4 bells throughout the day to let them know when they need to get to class at the beginning of the day and during their nutrition periods, and then let them know when to leave. It is up to them. It is their responsibility, being facilitated by the teacher, to get to class and get to class on time.
Responsibility.
So
we have some other places that we're going to take a look at here.
Yes, we can absolutely go.
All right, to be continued. Next segment. We are in the media center, and I'm excited. I'm ready to pass out. This is excitement. But tell us a little about this phenomenal this place, and I still see it's in development, but give us what's going on here.
Well, when you look into a typical classroom, pretty much anywhere in the United States, and what you've seen over the last probably 100 years was a classroom where you have rows of desks and seats, where you have somebody in the front of a classroom talking for 30 to 40 minutes and providing an assignment.
Right.
Okay. Instruction is very, very valuable, but we also need students to learn other skills. Not only the content of what the class is, but we also need them to be able to communicate in various forms. We need them to be able to present to individuals using presentations like through PowerPoints or Prezis. We also need them to learn how to work collaboratively in teams. And so what we do is we provide opportunities for students to work together, use their academic language to support the instruction that's happening in classes. And so oftentimes what you'll find in the classes here is they're not set up traditionally. And so what we did in the design of the school was we wanted to create external environments, meaning outside of their classroom, where they can continue to work together and work on projects, build relationships, because relationships is a big part of a student's education. Where students feel safe, where they feel comfortable, they will excel. So when we talk about high performing students, we know we have students, all of them are completely capable of being what we would consider high performing. It's just providing them the environment where they'll flourish. And so we feel that these media centers that we have here provide them a location where it's not as intense or industrial, as you might say, when schools were first developed. This is a location where during class, if they wanted to get together in their groups, they could come and work on their projects. Or if they get to school early, they can work on homework assignments, because just like outside, they're connected inside as well. And so what you'll see here behind us is we have an 80-inch monitor where students can connect through a hard line, through an HDMI cable.
Wow.
But what you see on the screen here is an example of our wide-eye system, where students can digitally log onto this format to this television and present wirelessly. And so the laptops they have, the laptops that our teachers have the capability of connecting to any monitor on campus to practice their presentations, to show or work together, kind of like when you were at a university studying for, maybe you're studying for an exam. You got together in small groups or small study groups. We want kids to develop those relationships with their peers and work together to solve the problems of today. And so that's all about what we're trying to do here, is giving them the skills they need, whether they're the hard content-based skills of a regular classroom and instruction, but also the soft skills of working together, communicating, and working collaboratively to really come up to solutions to real-world problems. We want to make their education relevant. We want to solve that. We want to stop that question that students always ask, well, why do I need to learn this?
Yeah.
We're providing them an answer to that, because they understand that it's connected to the real world as part of their academy, but we also want them to have fun while they're doing it.
I'm glad you said that, because I was cautious saying, I can't help but feel this is fun, this is entertaining, this is social, and I think it'd be a lot less pressure on the teacher and be able to be more of a facilitator than a lecturer. And
the what you're really pointing to in education ease is engagement. We want our students to be engaged, and we want their minds connected to the work, so when they're doing their work, they're learning, but they're also having fun while they do it.
Well, I may just be enrolled back into high school, okay? But this is great. So we're going to go and move on to the next location. Okay, I'm so excited. I don't even know where I am here, Roger. So tell me where we are.
Well, the classroom that we're in currently are our specialty art classes and our general art classes as part of our Arts and Entertainment Academy. So what we wanted to create here is what you might see typically in an art classroom, big tables, flat tables, but what we wanted to create on top of that is an external learning environment for our students. So we don't want to just necessarily keep them in the classroom, because there's a lot of natural beauty outside as well. And so what you'll notice here to my left-hand side is we have these garage doors that are fitted on the exterior of our classroom, because outside here, still under construction, is we have areas that'll be landscaped with tables for students to do work outside as well. From outdoor sinks to kilns, students will be able to take their passion for art and really take the skills that they're learning in this class and apply it to what they want to do. And so that becomes a big part of art, because when we look at art, and I'm not the type of person, I'm more of a linear type person when it comes to this, but to take their passion for what they want to do and to be able to create, we want to make sure we provide them every outlet that we can, whether that's through the use of technology, because of what we've seen already in our classrooms. This room still has all of that technology, but it also provides them an environment where they can draw or sculpt or create glazed ceramics outside and be able to see an actual, a product that they can take home and they can be proud of. What I'd like to see is in the future, when you drove in earlier today, you probably saw this large bus loop with the rock garden and a lot of landscaping. It's very drought friendly. What I'd love to see there is our student work, our student sculptures out there. And so by having these facilities, we can produce that type of work because the students have the room for it.
It's amazing. You keep on inspiring me in terms of outside the box thinking, and the difference in creativity inside a room is different than standing outside in nature with the breeze hitting you and the sun hitting you. So you're actually capturing that particular opportunity.
Yes, and that's what we want students to be able to do, is think outside the box. Part of my life, I spent time with STEM and STEM education when I was with the County Office of Education. And I went out to some of the California Department of Education conferences and other conferences and had the opportunity to network and talk to CEOs of large companies like Cisco and Oracle. And a lot of what they're doing now is not solely hiring somebody who could just solve a problem. They're looking for somebody, who can solve a problem, but look at it in a different perspective. And so, especially with a company like Oracle, half of their hires are students who haven't even graduated from college yet. The gaming industry, you've probably heard of the gaming industry. These individuals that participate in, although, in this particular area, they have the ability, they have the skills that they're looking for in order to create and make new things. Something we see with engineering, you take something that's already been created and make it better, make it more efficient. And students love that. And it's innate, meaning a lot of all students that come in here have that natural ability, that natural curiosity. So back in the days when we took toasters apart and our parents got angry with us, we're encouraging our students to look at pieces, looking at things like a puzzle and how we can put that puzzle together in a different way that'll help improve a system that we have here in life.
I build on what you're saying in that to break outside the box, that an artist, all they do is put things on canvas and create. I mean, this world, business, industry, we need artists in the mix. I mean, our products will be better, our service will be better. So I think you're doing things outside the box. So this is really an exciting room, and I know we have a few more, so that was great. Now I know where I am.
Okay, thank you.
I know we're outside here, so I'm going to ask Roger, what's this out? This is beautiful. Tell us about what's here.
This is our outdoor facility that we have for students to participate in physical activity, our physical education program that we have here. Although we do not offer sports, your typical athletics that you would have at a comprehensive high school, only because we're just beginning. Our students have the opportunity, based off of their area of residence, to participate at sports at either Camarillo High School or Rio Mesa High School. But we also provide an area for them to participate in a variety of different sports. What you don't see here is we have a physical education room. We have an exercise room that's set up like a CrossFit gym. Part of our facilities that isn't completed is our dance studio. So we're going to have a full dance studio, broadcast station, film and video lab, but also a band room, aside from our performing arts center and black box theater. And so what we have to do is we have to have a location for students to participate in dance. And so our exercise room becomes that place. It is where our dance students work. They have nice smooth floors until that dance studio is ready, but they also can exercise indoors and outside. And so our teachers, who are absolutely amazing, provide opportunities for our students to engage in your typical sports, your baseball, basketball, soccer, but also we're introducing some of those collegiate type activities and sports that you don't see very often, such as ultimate frisbee golf, and other types of activities. And so we have 5 basketball courts along the edge here is where we're standing right now, which can be converted and put tennis courts on, and also volleyball courts. And so everything's striped or painted in a way so that you can have multiple sports within one basketball court here. But also, what a beautiful view that we have here of the Peterson Ranch. But also the property outside of the school is also owned by the district. And so when we look at the school and as we decide to grow, we could expand, and I would hope, down the line to offer athletics here. And I see that we do have some room to possibly put a football field or gymnasium as well.
I can see that. What kind of, in the physical fitness, the staff in there will be more fitness based, how to take care of yourself?
Well, it's really about healthy lifestyles.
There you go.
And, along with the activities that I already talked about, we do have 2 instructors. One who has our dance instructor. She actually has a degree from UCLA in dance therapy.
Interesting.
And our PE coach right now, our male PE coach, was a former UCLA football player, but he also works with students. He has an early morning, too early for me. We have students that come and teachers that work out with him. They have a workout club in the morning.
Wow.
But he's also going to be teaching them about the benefits of yoga and meditation, but also eating healthy. And so it's not, sometimes, we separate health and and PE, but those things are interconnected, and we need to make sure that along with physical activity that they're treating their bodies correctly, consuming the right type of foods, and not putting things in their body that would harm them later.
I would agree. It's a big difference between being athletic and fit. That's 2 different terms, real important. So this is incredible. Thank you. That was a great description. I'm going to sign up here. No, just kidding. Thank you. I tell you, I didn't realize there could be celebrities here on campus, and these are members from the National Academy Foundation and their involvement. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Shane Okamoto. I'm an Academy Development Manager. I work with schools on implementing NAF models.
That's a lot on a business card. I like it. I love it.
It is.
Hi, and I'm Kevin English. I'm an instructional manager, so I work on the ground with the teachers on professional development and helping get our curriculum in the classrooms.
Wow. And we know who you are, so
they're a very important component to what we're doing here, because a lot of what we're doing is, when we talked about in the traditional sense of providing instruction through the lens of an industry sector, they are the ones that bring that lens to us. They help us, they partner with us to provide college and career readiness curriculum that we integrate into our coursework, but they also provide that connection to the industry and what's relevant now to those companies that we need our students to know. And they could probably tell you a little bit more about their model.
Yeah, do you want to tell us a little bit? Gonna flip a coin, who goes first?
Shane, you first.
Okay, so our model consists of 4 pieces, and it's development academies, so that the school, kids have a culture that they work in. So small learning communities following in a career theme. Then we do curriculum and instruction. We provide them with industry-vetted curriculum. And we also emphasize the use of advisory boards so that we can replicate our connections to business at the school level, and then also by work-based learning, where we get kids to have the actual college and career skills in their high school setting.
Significant. You want to build on that at all?
Yeah, 2 things that are really important to us are the content and the performance assessment. So we assess our content through an end of course exam, but the big piece for us is the projects the students are doing. Can they show what they know? And that's where the performance assessment comes in, and that's what a big piece of our model is, getting the students to perform with those projects and show the world what they can do.
Excellent.
And which you can see is a natural fit to the way this school has been developed. A lot of what we've talked about earlier today about having students not only learn that content, but learn those skills, being able to collaborate and work together, being able to present using different forms of media, it's directly connected to our partnership with the National Academy Foundation and NAF.
Well, I'm going to shamelessly say that I'm going to do a shout out. I want you to know Ursula Burns. your work and your commitment to the National Academy Foundation is growing, and here's your proof. So I'm going to send this to you, and I'm also going to go ahead and do a shout out for James Cole, and make sure that he gives Ventura County extra preferential treatment. I know he's either in Sacramento or down south now, but James, we're depending on you. Miss Burns, be proud. Thank you for your commitment, and here it is live for you to watch.
Great job.
So thank you so much, gentlemen. I look forward to you when you're rich and famous. I hope you'll still talk to me. All right?
There you go. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, I just looked behind me and I'm seeing palm trees, which means there's some good things inside. It looks like they're ready to come down. So Roger, tell us what's going on behind us, please.
Well, this was a two-phase project.
Okay.
What we have directly behind us is our student cafeteria.
Okay.
And so that's an area where students can eat indoors, but they also have the opportunity to eat outdoors as well. So we don't limit them to just sit in the cafeteria. And it's set up kind of college style,
Yes.
university style. Students go in, they're directed, they're facilitated, they know exactly what items they can choose from in order to fulfill nutritional standards with our state and federal government. But at the same time, we don't limit them to have to stay in the cafeteria. They can actually walk out to our quad, go out to our media centers, go to teachers who are providing tutoring, or just want to hang out, they can. So we have that type of space for them. Now, when I mentioned a little bit earlier that this school was built in two phases, the classrooms and the cafeteria, everything that you've seen here today,
Yes.
were part of phase one. Phase two, which is due to be complete March 1st, is our Performing Arts Center that will sit over 700 participants, attendees when it's completed. It even has an orchestral pit and a mezzanine area as well. But connected to it, we have a black box theater for smaller venues where students can practice or put on small performances, and classes can be held in there as well. Directly located behind that area, we have dressing rooms, a green room for our students and others that come and use our facility. We consider ourselves part of the community. We want to make sure that we provide the access for our community to use our facilities, because as you know, it takes a village to raise a child. And we kind of take that same philosophy here. We want to make sure that we partner with our local businesses, partner with our local organizations to make sure we provide an enriching experience for our students. And back there as well as we have a workshop for set building, and so we have a dedicated space where students can use actual tools and build the sets. So a performance isn't just about acting or singing or playing music. It's about building sets, designing the sets, and then building them and problem solving along the way. Next, as part of that project with our Performing Arts Center, we also have some classrooms that are associated with that. We have a full dance studio for our students where they are going to can perform whether they're inside the studio or actually outside. What we don't see behind that gate is an outdoor amphitheater area. Connected next to that classroom was we have a broadcasting room where students would be live broadcasting, and they're starting the pieces of that already, utilizing our district IPTV, along with a computer lab where they can film and edit during that time. And then right next to that is we have a band room for symphonic band, jazz band, and as we continue to develop, we're making do with the classrooms we have now, given our small population of students, the 350 students. They're using classrooms now, and they'll be performing at our ribbon cutting on October 5th. But when this is complete in March 1st, hopefully earlier, they can utilize those facilities even sooner.
Well, I got to say, there's an old term like hub of activity. This whole campus is a hub of activity. And what I really like to see is you're really making you attractive to local businesses in the area.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
we want to
job
make
on
sure that we can support the local workforce, because our parents are the ones that are working there now, and eventually those parents and those members of our community that will eventually retire, they'll need to be backfilled. And so what we see across the state is there's a multitude of jobs available.
Exactly.
We have to prepare students for that. And that's what our goal is prepare them to support our workforce and provide them the skills that they're going to need in order to be successful.
Well, you know, just to build on what you're saying, Roger, it's just like companies are, one of their main motivations if they move to a location is their available workforce. And this is what you're building to.
That's absolutely right.
So I want to say congratulations for all your hard work.
Well, thank you for being here today. We really appreciate it.
When you become famous, I hope you still talk to me. I've been saying that to a lot of people here.
I'm just the guy in the office that that works behind the scenes, and I really want to see the students be successful, and that's what makes me feel good.
Every person who has made history has the same attitude as you, Roger. So I thank you for who you are, and your family, and your team. So this is, I think this is the last place we're going to actually look at. So again, why don't you say it one more time since my my enunciation? This is Rancho,
Campana.
I'm gonna practice that several times high school, and I can say Roger Adams. There's not too much of a thing there. So thanks for your time.
Thank you very much for coming
This
out.
is a very historical document. And